the middle of healthy narcissism or just being a healthy dick.
Right.
That sounded weird when I said it, but we're gonna keep it in.
Kia ora, folks. Welcome to Showing Up, your weekly videos that helps you show up at work, at home, and in life.
Nice, well done.
One take wonder. Look at that.
That was awesome. Hey man, so let's kick things off. We're going to talk about a couple of things. Kick things off though. LinkedIn Local Christchurch was this morning. How was that for you?
Oh, brilliant. Yep. That was brilliant. Apart from the 6:30 a.m. start that we had.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That I had to scooter in from Burnside.
That was brutal.
Everything else was great. Great. Company was great.
Did you meet some cool people?
Definitely. Yep. There's some good solid connections. And it was actually good to put faces to names, because a lot of these people I knew from LinkedIn, who have been interacting on LinkedIn, but I've never actually met them in person. So that was really cool. It was good to put some faces to names.
Well, that's the idea of it.
Yeah. What about you? What are some of your highlights?
Highlights is just delivering it. For me, it's such a big lead up to it. Getting it all sorted. So just getting it delivered. And honestly, seeing 100 odd people in a room connecting from Christchurch and having a good time and feeling comfortable, having good coffee and just doing what it's supposed to do. So we're going to jump off that subject and jump into what we're really here to talk about. And that is, a while ago, a good friend of ours, Carl Davidson, he put up a post. And it was a post about a post that he'd posted in the past. I know, right? Inception. And the original post was a picture from someone's office, and it was kind of like their value statement, value proposition, stuff like that. And it just said, "Don't be a dick," in big bold letters. And it was at reception. So when you walked into the business, and underneath it had some of the core values that go with that. And then Carl reposted asking the question of, why is it that as a psychologist working and helping people and all this, why is it that in all the time I've been posting on LinkedIn, that post had over 11,500 views compared to him trying to help people, it falls flat. And it's been interesting looking at the feedback on it. And it was, some people were like, well, it's because it's a simple philosophy to follow. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure out, don't be a dick. And there are many other reasons as well, which is, people in our day and age now, people don't need things dressed up and they don't need them all pretty. It's just give me the most basic information I need, keep it simple. So on that note, we decided that it might be interesting to go down the rabbit hole of dickism. So what is it to be a dick? And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, I've known you for ages, and of all the people I know, you're probably the least dickish that I know. So my question to you, that is nice.
Very kind.
And I mean it. So my question to you is, are you a bit of a dick sometimes?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think, and this happened actually a couple of days ago, I think for me, lack of sleep, tiredness, and if I'm worrying about something leads to a lot of, dickish behavior, I suppose. And what that really means is I think I'm more skittish, I'm more sort of defensive at that point, and then as soon as people start trying to tap into what is making me anxious at that point in time, I sort of react defensively, which comes across as being a dick.
Right.
I think that's one of the biggest triggers for me. And I'm sure there's many others. I mean, you could probably ask my wife and she'll tell you a whole list, but that's the one that's probably the most obvious to me.
That's interesting. It's interesting because you just said when you get wound up about something, if someone tries to ask what's wrong, you're reactive to it already. So they're trying to help, and that pisses you off even more.
Yeah, because I guess I'm not in the mindset or the state of mind to take on a conversation.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'd like to look into that a bit more.
With that being said, you come across as a person that seems like you're a dick most of the time. So is there a time when you're not a dick?
Yeah, for sure. So, and I mean, that is a good question because because of my nature, I can be a bit dickish,
In a fun way.
In a fun way. No, totally in a fun way, and I totally get it, right? But the times when I'm not a dick are when I'm kind of similar to you. When my energy levels are right, when my stress levels are low, when I'm nicely balanced, I can just calmly respond to things. But like you, once those get elevated, my ability to not be a dick gets removed, and I can be a right dick. But I can be a real dick, and what I found interesting is I'm most dickish to the people that care for me the most.
I think I'm the same.
Yeah. And I think what must be really hard, especially for my wife, for example, would be I can be a right dick in this moment, and then someone will come along and be like, "Oh, Michael, can you do this?" And I'll be like, "Oh, yes, why, sure." And then I'll go to her and be like, I'm back to being a dick. Yeah. It's kind of like I can be accommodating because I have to, and then when I don't have to, I go back to being a dick.
Is it because you're trying to please the person that's not close to you?
Oh, well, I wouldn't want to offend them, would I?
Yes. I guess you're trying to put up a wall, right? You're not trying to get them to see the real you at that point in time.
Totally, right? Yeah. So, because here it is. Here's the dick part. I wouldn't want to offend them, but I will offend someone that I care about. Yeah. And what would be worse is if they see it. It would be like, but you were just a dick. Yeah. But now you're not a dick. So you can choose when you're a dick. And it's like, interesting. So this whole being a dick thing has presented a really big subject because essentially, how do you know? Like, how do you know? Because, you might know after the fact, but how do you know in the moment that you're being a dick? And if you don't know, what does that mean for you? That's got to be tricky.
100%. Yeah. And I think that also presents in different ways in different people, right?
Yeah.
Some people are more expressive when they're a dick, whereas other people may be a little bit more calm in the moment, but then later on they could show symptoms.
Cool. And then there are people who are actively being a dick.
Yeah, without knowing it. Yeah.
So it poses a lot of questions. I want to go down this rabbit hole over the next few weeks. How do you know if you're a dick? How do you know if you're being a dick? How do you tell someone who's a dick that they're a dick? And then maybe what are your triggers? So what we're going to do is we're going to look into some subjects like bias. Yeah. Like if I'm being biased, it means I'm being a bit of a dick. How do I know I am? Because I naturally am going to be. That's part of all of us. We do have biases. In my relationship, so we can look at some stuff there. And then by polarization of, spectrum narcissism. Right, yeah. Am I a hidden dick or am I a Trump style dick? Am I, so obvious? How do I go from being at either end of the spectrum and find my way into the middle of healthy narcissism or just being a healthy dick?
Right.
That sounded weird when I said it, but we're going to keep it in. So wrap us up from here because I think we've got a big subject to get into that will take you through on the next few stages. And on this note, if there are any examples that you want to share with us, that'd be really cool, because I know I'm not alone within it. I can be a real dick. You can be a bit of a dick. If there are subjects you want us to delve into, that'd be really cool. Help us come up with some content as well. So that'll do us. As always, stay safe out there. And the big subject is don't be a dick so you can show up at work, at home, and in life. And that's what we're going to look into. Wrap it up, man.
Cool. That's it for this week's episode of Showing Up. If you need speaker coaching, get in touch with Michael.
And if you need videos, get in touch with Kaushik.
Catch you next week, guys.
See you, everyone.
These videos wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. Thanks to Vodafone for providing the space.
And thanks to Coffee Monster for providing the liquid caffeine refreshments.